Hello, one and all, and welcome to the 204th episode of the Voluntary Viewing Pod. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we've done this, as you can tell by my butchering of the opening. A man who is going to flawlessly answer the question, why are young men supposedly having less sex, though, is Andrew Clark.
Why are young men having less sex? I think that a sizable percentage of it probably has to do in some way, shape, or form with Elon Musk.
Please elaborate.
Elon made it cool to be an incel, even though Elon definitely, has had at least several instances of sex in his life, as you can tell by all the children that he will not father. He's fathered plenty of children. He just isn't a father to any of them.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, like you just have this dichotomy of hyper masculinization with like the Andrew Tate types on one side, and the I shouldn't have to do anything to be good. Women should just want me, and the fact that they don't means they're trying to suppress me. On the other side. So yeah, I don't know. That's why men aren't having sex, because they suck.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it has everything to do with anime.
Oh, how real am I allowed to be on this podcast?
I think you're allowed to be the realist.
I'm allowed to be the realist?
Yes.
Okay. Through TikTok, I discovered that VTubers are doing fin doming now.
Sure.
And
wait, the VTubers are doing fin doming? Always have been.
Yeah, that just tracks. That tracks to me that hentai would be real before anime is real. That's it. Yeah. That's the world.
What would make anime real? I mean, so hentai being real is just digital women forcing you to give them money. Then isn't that also anime? I don't know.
I mean, hentai is definitely a subgenre of anime, but I don't know. I was hoping the broader anime sphere would reach a higher fidelity before, I don't know, hentai was just in the real world now.
I still don't really know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what the point, what you're trying to say. I don't know how hentai is in the real world because VTubers are taking money. But like, what about VTubers that stream on Twitch and take donations for that and not fin doming? Isn't that anime then?
Are you saying that hentai is real because there are somewhat digital women that are involved in a sexual act of some sort? That's what makes hentai real? I'm not trying to criticize you. I'm asking if that's real. Okay.
Yes.
But like, they're not actually cartoons. They're just, it'd be the same as if like I wore a Naruto costume for Halloween and then you said this makes anime real.
I mean, then if you did some magic Naruto bullshit, I would be like, oh yeah, that's what Naruto does.
But they're not doing any sort of hentai magical bullshit. They're not like
they're providing
using tentacles to
that's
fuck
some
people.
Magical bullshit to me.
They're just wearing a mask and saying, "Give me money."
Yeah,
they're wearing a digital mask.
Funnily enough, Jade and I, right before the podcast started, just finished watching a YouTube video where Cody and Noel did a "That's Cringe" for Hey Pigs.
There's a new "That's Cringe"?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's on Noel's channel.
Oh, that's why I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Lit. No, but I'm saying in a more real sense, I blame anime and like other stuff because I think that men are just less bored.
Yeah.
Like people had more sex when they're bored. That's just literally a thing. So
Y'all ever fuck with just like TV on? Like, I know that's a thing that some people do. They're just like, yeah, the TV is on. I guess we'll have sex while watching the TV. Is that something y'all have ever done?
No.
I don't even like having sex with music on, really, but yeah.
Oh, nothing wrong with
Definitely,
music.
yeah, definitely done music. I mean, like, yeah, the whole Netflix and chill thing is real. Like,
But I always kind of thought the Netflix and chill was just like that was the pretense of like, oh, let's watch Netflix. And then maybe you even start watching Netflix, but I never really imagined that The Office was still on while you're fucking.
sometimes you just like let it roll, you know, like it's just kind of like casually, but not like, yeah, I guess I don't know. Maybe that's more similar, but that's always a movie.
Right.
Always a movie. Netflix
Yeah.
and chill for me always involves a movie and not TV. But I don't know.
Yeah. Precursors to sex have happened with TV playing in the background. But
Yeah, sure, but then I always like would turn it off, like the
it's
TV
a whole part of the
goes off.
routine. TV off, condom on, let's go.
Yeah,
Full
All in
undivided
one
attention.
fluid motion. You got to hit that button and roll that on.
Babe, I want to be present for you more than I want to see Jon Stewart roast out of people who hate 9/11 victims.
Oh, I thought you were just going back and watching old episodes of The Daily Show.
Yeah, no. Well, what do you do,
That's
Ryan?
that's
what I
psychotic
do.
behavior.
I am terrified that hasn't held up, actually. If I were to see an episode of The Daily Show from 2008, I feel like some less than great stuff would be in there. That's probably no longer reflective of Jon Stewart or the program at large, but
I think Jon Stewart lived long enough to see himself become a bit of a villain. Some of the shit he says nowadays is a little it's towing some lines for sure.
Speaking of towing a line, Ryan, did the Nets ban Kyrie quickly enough?
No.
Okay.
Not even
It was
close.
like 5 days?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was a little fuzzy on the timeline on that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, they did it. Basically, he posted the movie. It was like, this movie's fucking great. And then everyone was like, holy shit, this movie is one of the most anti-Semitic things I've ever seen in real life. This is fucking wild. And everyone was like, dude, that's really fucked up. And he's like, what? No, I can't be fucked up against Jewish people. And they're like, why is that, Kyrie? He's like, because I'm the real Jewish person.
Yeah, exactly. He's just like, no, you guys are misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And then just says the exact point that the documentary is making.
I can't be anti-Semitic. You guys are the ones that are anti-Semitic because I'm actually Jewish.
And you're
anyone
not.
who calls themselves Jewish are the pretenders that need to be gotten rid of. You didn't really say that, but that type of shit. And then everyone was like, wow, that's really insane. Holy shit. They got to do something about this. And then it kind of calmed down. And then he sent his stepdad and mom to donate $500K to the Anti-Defamation League.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone was like, that's wild. Hey, Kyrie, what do you think about this? And he's like, I didn't do anything wrong. I don't just like kept digging the hole deeper. And then the Nets were like, I guess we have to suspend you now. Like, you don't care.
I loved the angle that he tried to make of like, look, you're saying that the thing that I did wrong was I promoted this documentary, which the main thing was that, you agreed with it. Like that this is what you believe. This is what you think is okay. And that's bad. But he was like, I can't promote it. You guys think that I have all this power. Like I just posted something on Twitter. The amount of views that documentary got went up like thousands of %. It's just, he did literally promote it. It is a known entity because of him.
I have not watched the documentary. I just realized now that listeners cannot see me do finger air quotes when I said the word documentary, but let the record show that I did. But I read an article about the context of it, and it is just repeating every wrong stereotype and conspiracy theory about global Jewish people. And it's fucked up that some of these for thousands of years debunked conspiracy points are still being circulated.
They like made up a Hitler quote.
Yeah, no, I
In
remember
the-
that. And then
in the
KJ
movie.
Wright was talking about it. He's like, look, you don't gotta agree with what the man did, but he makes a couple of good points.
Yeah.
And it's
Like
like, oh, damn.
The quote is, America has God's jewelry. The Americans have the jewels of God. The Americans have stolen God's precious jewels. What do you mean, his precious jewels? The soldier asked. I guess this is like a conversation that Hitler had
Yeah.
with the soldier. Like it reeks of the like, and then everyone clapped and a bald
Yeah.
eagle flew. Like Hitler said, America has stolen the Jews, the jewels of God, his jewelry, the Negroes. They are the true Hebrews. What a fool, blah, 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 blah. And then, yeah, at the end, believed to be said by Adolf Hitler in a secret document before his death. Like,
Yeah.
what?
One, you made that up. Two, is that the
Why did-
guy you like?
Right.
Look, it has to be true. Hitler said it.
If you're going to make up a quote, you could have it be said by fucking Mother Teresa.
Jesus.
Oh,
yeah, it could be
Why-
Jesus.
Why would you choose a bad person to deliver the quote?
I-
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, wait, hold on. The Hitler estate is going to be coming for them.
Yeah.
They better watch out. They're
Hitler
litigious
estate.
as fuck.
Yeah, dude, the Hitler estate plays no fucking games, man. They're going to get DMC'd to hell. This documentary was claimed by the Hitler Media Group.
Surprisingly progressive organization. All things done as
Oh,
said
God.
and told. They're
Yeah.
very, very much about like, no, we want the accurate depiction of Hitler out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaker of the organization, Juliet Hitler, had
Yeah.
this to say.
They're trying
My
to do
grandfather would never have said something so heinous.
They're trying to do some shit like the KKK did in like the tens. You guys remember
Yeah,
that when
they're
the
like,
KKK
oh,
tried to
yeah,
like
the KKK.
revitalize?
Would they build schools?
Yeah.
And help
We're
out the
super
community.
chill now. We understand how fucked up we were, and that's why it's very important that we stick around and keep being a thing. And it's like, nope, probably the opposite. Or how like Mussolini's granddaughter is in the Italian Senate, and her
How-
last name is Mussolini.
Oh
yeah. Or how Italians now are just being like, hey, what if we went out en masse and we're
Yeah.
like, Mussolini was right. Mussolini was right. Let's go back to what he did.
No more war. No more war. It's like Ukraine didn't choose this shit, man.
Yeah. I also like, yeah, getting off base here. Don't want to go too deep down the rabbit hole, but I have seen a lot of like Ukraine has to stop this crazy war.
Yeah.
You know, they've led the world to the brink of nuclear destruction. It's like they just existed.
Yeah. They have no choice. It's this or don't be a thing anymore. Like you can't possibly blame them for anything.
They've seen what Russia has done to just the random ass communities that they come across near the border. They don't want that to happen to literally everyone.
They are trying to stop it. They're trying to win and doing okay at that, all things considered.
Yeah, if Ukraine was like, oh, Russia, you better not invade us, or we're gonna invade you. Like, sure, that would be like, okay, let's cut this shit out kind of thing. This is just, please don't invade us. No, I'm gonna invade you. Okay.
They might go on the offensive, like for real, for real. Ukraine eventually is probably going to have to get into Russia because I don't think Russia's going to stop at any point. So you can't just fight a defensive war for decades. Eventually, something's going to happen.
This isn't the one I had lined up for next, but speaking of global fascism, congrats on Brazil for seemingly successfully ousting a fascist-leaning president.
Not seemingly, just clearly. Even Bolsonaro said, "Yeah, I lost."
Okay,
but his supporters are saying, "No, you didn't."
Right. It's not really ousting because Bolsonaro's kind of like, yeah, that's right. I mean, we'll see. Maybe he's got some fuckery up his sleeve before. What's his name?
Lula.
Lula? Yeah, I think it's Lula, right? Yeah, before Lula takes office.
Lula.
Is that his theme song?
It should be. Actually, that one does. That song ties well into the next point. Hi, I'm Lucas DeRider. Don't let Harry Styles guide queer discourse. I thought we all collectively agreed that after the "Don't Worry, Darling" stuff, that Harry Styles, we weren't gonna take seriously about anything anymore. So don't let him be a focal point of how queer people should present, or if queer baiting is a thing that real people can do. It isn't. It is very specifically about problematic tropes and practices in media.
Isn't Harry Styles just actually queer though?
I don't think he's. I think that's what inspired all of this. We're not quite sure.
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of his music or him as a person. I think he's just a kind of a dumb guy. I don't think he's ever really tried to be more than that. But yeah, like, hasn't he been like pretty open? And he's like, yeah, no, I'm not like what you would call straight. Just kind of doing my own thing. I'm not saying he should be a bastion of queer culture. I'm just saying I don't think he's a straight guy dressing funny and being like, ooh, isn't gay weird?
The Guardian asked him in 2019 about the authenticity of his flamboyant dressing style and his perceived sexual ambiguity, and he stated, "Am I sprinkling in nuggets of sexual ambiguity to try and be more interesting? No. In terms of how I want to dress and what the album sleeve is going to be, I tend to make decisions in terms of collaborators I want to work with. I want things to look a certain way, not because it makes me look gay or it makes me look straight, or it makes me look bisexual, but because I think it looks cool. And more than that, I don't know. I just think sexuality is something that's fun. Honestly, I can't say I've given it more thought than that."
Again, kind of just a dumb guy.
If you could sum up white male privilege in a sentence, it's probably,
yeah,
I think sexuality is something
cool.
that's fun. How many gay men have been slaughtered by
the biggest
regimes?
issue here is that he doesn't take it very seriously. If he is gay, he's not really like advocating for anything, and if he isn't gay, then yeah, he is just kind of queer baiting for views.
I don't have it in me to have this conversation yet again, but I still don't think queer baiting is something that a person can do. And also, celebrities have been pretending to be cooler and gayer than they really are since at least Shakespeare, I think. So, guys,
back in the 1600s, when it was really cool to be gay.
Yeah, wait, was William Shakespeare trying to be gayer than he really was?
You saw those pants, Ryan.
Isn't it like we're not 100% sure that William Shakespeare was a real person?
No, I mean, he was a real person. We don't know if he was the author of all those plays.
So it's like Jesus. It's like there's a historical William Shakespeare, and then there's...
William Shakespeare was one way or another the figurehead of all of these plays. He was definitely the one that was publicly known and put them on. We don't know if he wrote anything.
It's the Thomas Edison of 1600s plays.
Who's that writer that I hate that American Dad made fun of in a Wheels on the Leg Man episode, Andrew?
Patterson.
James Patterson.
James Patterson.
Yeah. William Shakespeare was James Patterson.
James Patterson is James Patterson. It's on a different level. How would you feel if like you found out that Stephen King just had a ghostwriter and that's why he put out so much fucking work in his short lifetime?
Andrew, my first reaction to Stephen King having a ghostwriter would be that makes sense. He is haunted, and a ghost has been controlling his body.
Literally a ghost that is haunting him and writing the stuff.
That's why he was so good back when he was on the junk, because he was passed out all the time, and the ghost was able to control him more.
Yeah, he had a night person.
Yeah.
Straight out of Rick and Morty.
All right, we got a lot of news to catch up on. Xbox Game Pass and Sony PlayStation Plus, whatever the actual name of that collection of subscriptions they have, both aren't doing great. Microsoft Game Pass seemingly reaching saturation with subscription growth goals not being met for the second year in a row. But PlayStation also had subscribers drop. Their revenue is still slightly up, though. Video games are weird. I don't like this trend that subscription services are seemingly the new thing, and I'm kind of fine. I'm kind of fine with this being maybe a phase that dotted the early 2020s of video games as a medium, and then maybe fading away.
This is their first time, like, ever not growing. I don't know if this is like the death blow to video game subscription services.
Right, but their first time not growing out of existing for 5 years. Like, I think we can look into these. I think we can intuit a little bit from them.
But isn't PlayStation Plus different from the Xbox Game Pass? Because PlayStation Plus is just like subscription online. Like there's multi-tier and shit like that.
Yeah,
so
the
PlayStation Plus
tier
is kind of cheating.
Right.
It's like counting everyone.
Well, like base level PlayStation Plus is like Xbox Live.
Right.
And then the higher levels of PlayStation Plus are like Xbox Game Pass.
Right. So when PlayStation Plus is talking about their total subscriber numbers, they're including people that don't have access to, like the, what's it called? Game Pass type model.
Yeah, what is it, like premium or platinum or some shit like that?
I think so. It's poorly named. Sony usually really good about naming their video game shit. Not this time.
I mean, I don't know about really good. Better.
Yeah, no, it's just not creative. Just the baseline. They went in chronological order. I don't know if that's being skilled. That's just the should be normal. And Xbox said, we're going to do something else.
It's the PlayStation 5. It's a station you play on. This is the 5th one. What more do you want?
It's the PlayStation 3 Slim. It's a PlayStation. It's the 3rd one, and this one's skinny.
What was the the higher end version of the PlayStation 4? What was it called?
PS4 Pro, right?
Yeah. Pro, yeah.
It's the professional model. All the pros play on this one.
This files your taxes in the background while you're playing Overwatch.
Yeah, PlayStation presented by QuickBooks.
It feels like we're trending towards that kind of sponsorship in the gaming space. Maybe it's just me, but I've noticed that the ad pulls for gaming aren't what they used to be. We've still got the G Fuels in there. We still got the gamer chairs, but then also erectile dysfunction pills and stuff like QuickBooks, adult stuff.
Gamers are getting older.
Yeah.
I was playing flag football this weekend with a lot of people that were like early 30s, late 20s, and they were all talking about like Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Like the new Modern Warfare 2. And it was just like,
yeah,
damn.
Late 20s, early 30s. That's us, Ryan. You're talking about us.
No, like 29, 32, 34.
No, you can't keep pushing the goalposts and say you don't reach your late 20s until 29.
No, those are the types of people I'm talking about.
Okay.
That were playing. And they were all like really into Modern Warfare 2. It was like, wow, COD's core audience is like some of those guys were like homeowners and shit. That is very different from
some of those guys were like homeowners is a very good title contender.
And I will add that to the pool of titles after reading out this next headline. Joe Biden dominates online Guilty Gear tournaments. White House refuses to comment.
Okay, so while Lucas types up that potential title, Ryan, what is this about? What do you think this is about?
The President of the United States, Joseph Robinette Biden, who's currently 79 years old, about to turn 80 in a couple weeks here, dominates an online fighting game, like just sits in the White House and fucking grinds those combos until he is tournament ready. Like, I don't know what else there is to this article, Andrew. That's pretty straightforward to me.
Joseph Brandon. just
Yeah.
absolutely kills the Guilty Gear
Right.
community.
It's a new meaning to the phrase Dark Brandon. Like this
And
man.
he definitely plays as the trans girl that didn't think that she was a trans girl until what was he, the Secretary of the Navy or something? Said that they
Secretary of
were.
Defense Gold Lewis
Defense.
Dickinson.
And they're like, actually, I'm a boy. And he's like, no, you're not.
You right.
And I'll tell you why.
No. That's our boy Robinette.
Yeah.
You just can't get enough.
Finally have a gamer president in the White House. I like it.
Oh no.
This is
Not Phil
silly.
Jameson.
Oh.
What was that guy's name? Ace something? The character that they made
Yeah.
up?
No.
Ace Watkins, right?
Yes.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Ace Watkins running for gamer president.
We deserve it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it's just some dude who has gone by Joe Biden for a long time.
Then
That's
why
his-
did the
that's his
White
gamer
House
tag.
refuse to comment, Ryan? This was the Washington Post.
I don't think you get to just take that as confirmation. The White House being like, this is a dumb story. Can't believe you guys are writing about this, Washington Post.
This is Launcher. This is not the Washington Post. This is Launcher. In the same way that the New York Times owns The Athletic, the articles that The Athletic put out are not the New York Times.
There you go.
We may never know.
Yeah,
Joe
the
Byron.
number two article on this launcher, or whatever Andrew's talking about, is leveling up Modern Warfare 2 guns. We've got 6 tips to boost XP. So, yeah,
Wapo.
probably not Weibo.
Hold up. I got beef. I got beef with another company, Square Enix, whose games I generally enjoy, has started putting out their own 5 things you need to know about X game as a part of their release promotion cycle. I don't think anyone on staff has ever watched a 5 things you need to know video or read an article with that title, because it's not like tips. It's not like gameplay guidance or anything useful like that.
Are they just like random facts?
It's just the trailer. It's just like,
Oh.
what is this game? Bullet
5
point,
things
bullet
you
point,
need
bullet
to
point.
know about Elden Ring. Elden Ring takes place in the lands between. Number 2, Elden Ring offers many different stats you can level up.
It's all written by AI. Like
Oh.
100%. All those
With
articles are
AI.
procedurally generated. No, like for real. Like when you listen to journalists on podcasts and stuff like that, they're like, the amount of content online that's written by an AI is unbelievable. And basically anything that doesn't have a byline is written by an AI. Like just a compiler. They literally just scrape shit together, put it in clickbait format. The AI will design the thumbnail, the SEO, everything, and then get thousands of page views and make ad money.
Yeah, we really are fighting for scraps out here. It is concerning what the modern infrastructure of the internet is actually like.
Yep.
Olivia Rodrigo was right. It's brutal out here.
I mean, like, people have fun with it, like Doug on his Twitch streams where he's like messing with the AI text generator, but like that same technology is like the backbone of the attention economy. Like,
yep.
It's good for a reason. It's not good for the memes. It's good for very particular purposes.
Something that isn't good. Well, yeah, kind of good. This is just weird. I can't ascribe a moral value to this. Following his overt anti-Semitism, Adidas ends their partnership with Kanye.
It's Ye.
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 I like Ye.
It's
Wait,
Ye.
so is it
It's
pronounced
Kanye.
Yeezus?
No, it's Ye.
What? Why?
Don't pretend like you don't know
What?
the difference.
I'm
Because Yeezus sounds like
Jesus.
Jesus,
okay.
and Ye,
And Ye is a shortened form of Kanye.
Kanye.
So Ye is the person behind the Yeezus brand that seemingly
Yes.
Adidas
No.
owns
Those are called
all of.
Yeezys. Yeezus is another Kanye pseudonym and also an album. Yeezys are
the shoes.
the shoes.
I think this just further
It's first grade SpongeBob.
I think this just further argues my point that Kanye is obviously very unwell, and nobody should be surprised by the anti-Semitism, because he's clearly needed mental help for a long time, if this is the naming format that we're looking at. And also some of the other stuff he's done in public.
Yep. And don't go to the Twitter replies of any of these tweets, because
No,
they're always like
bad.
just showing how much the world is really in agreement with a lot of these guys.
Defector put out their annual revenue report, and they're doing well. Hooray for independent journalism.
I was going to say, but they don't have any legal obligation on that, right?
No.
So they could lie.
No.
They could totally fucking lie.
Yeah, they don't have shareholders.
Right.
So.
They're not a publicly traded company. There's nothing preventing them from lying in this article.
No.
I could say that I am worth $1 billion.
Right. There's nothing against that. That's not illegal. That would be kind of funny.
Like obviously you got to hope that this is good faith, because like an opposing journalism organization could be like, let's look into this, and then do an expose revealing the financial lies of Defector. So you got to hope it's true, but there's no obligation for it to be so.
I mean, especially considering that my entire justification for supporting them is that they are honest journalists. That would rock me a little bit.
It's all made up. It's all fake. Oh my God.
Drew Magary and David Roth wouldn't do me like that, would they?
I love that their rent, they didn't pay rent in 2020 and 21. They had no brick and mortar. They were like, COVID's happening, baby. Let's cancel all of our rent contracts. But then they are paying rent, and you know that someone sent an article or sent an email that was like, hey guys, just want to remind that we're all returning to the office next week. Here's what you need to know about returning to the office.
Masks optional.
Yeah.
Vaccinations.
But we respect everyone's opinion on wearing masks.
Vaccinations are highly encouraged, but we will not enforce them.
Yeah. And they didn't do much paid media this past year.
Good for them.
It's because they have Lucas.
Lucas is their evangelist.
They have word of mouth, baby.
I wore my Defector shirt today to a flea market. I was doing some promotion.
There you go.
I'm a shill.
I think you just might be paid. You got the $5,000. Their whole paid advertising budget is going to Lucas. He's doing it all, baby.
You know what? I will not morally compromise myself for much unless I really believe in it. Yeah.
I think it's a little convenient that they turned just the most moderate of profits. that their total revenue is 3.8 million and their operating expenses are 3.7, roughly, for both.
I'm just going to throw it out there that whoever the head honcho is just throwing their salary into employee compensation, and they take the profits. Everyone makes X amount, and then whoever's running the show makes whatever's left of the profits is just their salary.
I don't think they have a CEO like that in their org structure. I think they have an editor-in-chief. But
that's a CEO then.
There's someone that is organizing. Someone's put on the name of the LLC and everything like that. There's someone who's
I believe that would be Tom Lay, who is actively writing for the site as well.
Right. No,
yeah.
and that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like instead of taking a salary,
Mhm.
Tom Lay just takes the profit. Like
All of the profits.
whatever's left over at the end of the year that wasn't paid out in expenses. That's how most small businesses work. And in some years they might not have any. Like they might have literally not turned a profit, and then the owner gets completely fucked. But any year where they turn a profit, that's just salary for the owner.
I mean, if it's done honestly, which it's not for almost all companies under current capitalism, it's a fair way to do it. It's a good way to incentivize people at the top to make the right decisions.
The right decisions for themselves.
Fair.
I don't think it's even a good way to do it. I think it's just objectively a shitty way that everything works. It's the whole reason that the labor class needs to seize the means of production is you can literally withhold the tools of production so that you can make a bigger chunk of the pie.
Which is what Defector did.
As far as they like to claim outwardly, I don't know.
Wow. This is why socialism has had trouble taking off right here. Progressives tearing down other progressives.
Yeah. I just don't know. I know nothing about them. I read their mission statement and everything like that.
Huh.
But I don't know, man. Every time there's like a leftist utopia thing on the internet, it always ends up being a fucking nightmare hell world.
Oh no, I mean Defector could fully crash and burn like any day now. That's just what it is to be an editorial platform on the internet in 2022. I'm enjoying it while it lasts.
Well, I'm not so much crash and burn, more just like it's a sham
or sell out.
Like it's someone who realized that they can cash in on this niche market of people who think that like, oh, these are the good guys. And then there's someone's acting in bad faith, basically.
It's Hassan.
The Hassan Piker has like been proven over and over that he acts in bad faith and sometimes does that. But like at the same time, he's promoting the cause, so it's kind of like what can you do?
To be fair, a lot of the staff does have baggage, and if anyone wanted to call them out on it or not support them because of that, I would disagree because I am actively supporting them, but fully understand. The first one that comes to mind is that y'all remember as Wisconsinites that Brett Favre dick pic scandal?
Yeah.
That was originally run by Deadspin. A lot of the staff from Deadspin at the time are now at Defector. That was originally run without the victim's consent.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of fucked up. I think maybe ultimately it was the right decision to run that story, but also, wow, that is disregarding a woman in a vulnerable position. So
yeah, I mean, scandal and crime journalism has never been about representing the victims. It's always been about, look at this thing. Mm-hmm. It's interesting and it makes you feel fucked. Like,
can that be a title? It's interesting and it makes you feel fucked.
That's a contender.
Now that I'm listening to more like Behind the Bastards kind of mainstream, like iHeartRadio type shit, I hear like normie podcast ads a lot more. And nowadays, like the true crime genre of podcasts is like openly touting the fact that they understand that they're like kind of deviant behavior. Like it's like, admit it, you love true crime, the gory details, the hair-raising and it's just like, Jesus Christ. Like you're just acknowledging that you're not a solution, you are part of the problem. Like,
oh, you're just a voyeuristic little murder simp, aren't you? You want to get in on this.
This makes you hard, doesn't it? You fucking monster. Like, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird.
You identify with the murderer a little too much, don't you?
Yeah, you're kind of into the fact that the murderer got away with it, aren't you?
You like all the details that should never have been made public, don't you?
Right. Yeah, humans.
You love the fact that the family was never consulted for any of this.
God, speaking of concerning trends in journalism and digital media, major Japanese publishing company Kadokawa acquires a majority share ownership of Anime News Network previously the largest independent website dedicated to anime news and critique.
Are they going to change the website? Or is it still going to look like the shittiest website I've ever seen in my entire life?
They have promised in their announcement about this buyout that Kadokawa is going to handle the site infrastructure now. So that very well may improve.
Wow, rest in
What
peace,
if they make it
man.
worse? What if
I don't know if that's possible, man.
I've seen some bad websites in my day.
When Lucas linked Anime News Network for the first time, I was like, this is like a shit website, right? Like, this is not real.
He's like, no, this is the biggest one out there.
Right.
This genre.
I was like, Anime News Network, the internet's most trusted anime news. Dude, these guys are wild. And then Lucas was like, nah, they're legit. Like, that's real. And I was like, what the fuck? This is the shittiest website I've been on in a decade. It's insane.
There is at least a third of this website, of this webpage, that is not being used.
Yeah, no, it's blank space.
Yeah.
And then like the like side third for no reason runs like 3 times the length of the article down the
ads
page.
are straight down the middle.
Yeah, in the middle of the page.
Guys, be nice. I have $100 coming from them. I hope
their content might be fine.
I'm not saying the writing quality is bad.
Graphic design is horrific.
No, Lucas, if you want $200, I'm guessing coming from them, you should probably remake their website UI.
When you hover over all the tabs at the top, like news, views, new anime, it doesn't turn your cursor into like a clickable thing. Like, it looks like the mouse is still just like hovering around in blank space. I don't know, man. This shit's rough. Like, oh well.
Hopefully Kadokawa addresses all of that.
Or it doesn't. That might be fun too.
You know,
leave the charm.
Yeah. Early aughts internet vibes. We all have nostalgia for it. My final note is that I don't know, maybe if the people involved in this didn't want the US anime fandom to be kind of concerned and sketched out by it, they wouldn't have tweeted out that they've been acquired at 3 a.m. local time. But who am I to judge?
That's how you do it. We put all of our bad news on Friday at 4 p.m. just as everyone's leaving. That's how you do it, man.
It's the weekend. Can you give people something to be optimistic about? Speaking of optimistic, is Dan Snyder finally washed? Seems like the rest of the NFL owners are circling the wagons, and maybe gonna figure out a way to have that team not be owned by what increasingly feels like one of the worst human beings alive today.
I mean, he's gonna probably sell the team.
Right,
they're not gonna kick him out or strip him of anything.
No, the best solution to this is still Dan Snyder makes $1 billion by selling the Washington.
$8 billion.
So $8 billion I saw was valuated. He enlisted the Bank of America like a few days ago
to start looking at it. Right. They think it's going to be in the next 6 months or so.
It still could be a minority stake or something like that, but like considering all the news going on, probably the real deal.
No.
So, yeah, no, he'll still be one of the richest human beings to have ever lived, but
but at least we won't have to hear about him as much, I guess. He'll just do the same things and worse, but with less scrutiny.
Yeah.
But now we won't own a football team that will maybe be okay. Pretty good in 3 to 4 years. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
They're 5-4 right now.
Yeah, they're
thoroughly in the
Packers.
playoff.
A football team that is better than the Packers.
Yep.
Yes, like definitively.
Yeah, objectively.
No, I just said it out loud for the first time, and it became real to me.
Yeah,
Packers are not making the playoffs this year.
No, the season is over.
Jesus Christ!
Just, cheers.
You've been drinking since the end of the game?
No,
drinking wine since the end of the game.
No.
Oh no, it's not wine.
Oh, no, it is wine. I have not been drinking since the end of the game.
Okay,
and especially not wine. That would be sad.
Yeah. No, I took tequila shots, a cool, fun alcohol.
Yeah. Took tequila shots while playing Mexican music and wearing a sombrero as I sat on my couch staring blankly ahead at the post-game interview where Aiden Hutchinson was like, "Woo!"
Aaron Rodgers said he gave me a gift. I'll take it. Just fuck.
There's no good transition or lead in into this under even the best of circumstances. Elon finally bought Twitter. It's already a train wreck.
Yeah, it's been bad.
How does this work like how the fuck is he able to literally like make a multi-billion-dollar purchase and like one day later he's got everything like
because he became the owner and then he immediately dismissed the board.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, how does that work?
It's been because it's been in the works for months. It was just
right.
The cash transfer went through.
But like, my company's been through a merger. That shit takes a while usually because it's like, no, you gotta like, phase people in and out. You've got to like do all this crazy shit. He like fucking had not only the keys but like everything. Like,
well, that's because. Like part of the deal was like, yeah, all of the owners, like he technically didn't like change any of the organizational structure as part of the deal. It's just he bought it and then got rid of the rest of the board. So he was the only one left to make decisions and then got rid of a bunch of teams. Like in a day, there were a bunch of people that were working on different Twitter teams that were all tweeting at once like, hey, yeah, I just got fired. The entire team's gone. I mean, like that all happened in one day so that he was the one guy that was left.
And that's what I'm saying. Like that shit doesn't make any sense to me because like there's so much language in those deals and everything like that when they involve such amounts of money that like there's like a lot of procedure involved. And like it didn't make any sense to me that he was able to literally be a tyrant day one.
Yeah, it's a train wreck.
I think the truth of the situation is that what Elon is doing to Twitter as an organization and to Twitter's management is very probably illegal.
Right. Like, isn't Twitter suing? Like, yes. There was some Twitter employees suing. Yeah. Like, that's what I was saying. I was like, I don't think he's allowed to do that. Right. Like, my knowledge of these giant, like, buco bucks deals are that there's a lot of fucking language in procedure and how they go down, and it's very structured and it takes a while. It's kind of like the transition of power, like with the United States president. Like you can't just like, it's not like you win on November 8th and then November 9th, you fucking start issuing executive orders that fundamentally change how the country works. It's like, no, there's a lot of process here,
Well, yes, in the way the contracts are written, there should be due process for all of this. The penalty for not following that due process is just fines and money that Elon has to pay to these people, and he has gone full, I'm the richest man on the planet. I don't care how many fines I have to pay.
Exactly. That's the thing. Lucas, you're saying it's illegal. Ryan, you're saying this doesn't make sense. You're both correct. This is fucked up and illegal. He doesn't care. Like Elon might be a smarter person than his public persona. Probably not by much. Like he just has kind of succeeded and now has a lot of money. And now he's doing a bunch of dumb shit. And he's like, yeah, I want to do this. So I am. And so, yeah, former employees are suing. So what? The worst case scenario is that he pays them some money to shut the hell up. And the second worst case scenario is he says, I'm going to make you go into litigation for the next 10 years. Like I have unlimited funds. My lawyers won't stop because I'm paying them to not do that. Like, it doesn't matter.
Except maybe he doesn't have unlimited funds.
I was going to say, it sounds like he's
anymore.
approaching kind of insolvency, some of this stuff. Like,
because, I am not an expert on the details of it, but it's my understanding he had to put up a lot of his Tesla stock as collateral to fund the purchase of Twitter because he made a ridiculous offer that he should not have if he were actually a smart person, and then through legal discourse, like ended up having to pay out on that. And Tesla stock is just in free fall right now because, yeah, Twitter is not looking like it's going to survive. Most people on Twitter right now are talking about the other platforms they're going to, and advertisers are pulling out en masse because, well, a lot of reasons. I think the biggest one being that Elon fired their entire like trust and safety team and community management team.
And they're like disability access team and the people that are supposed to look at like what is hate speech and what isn't was like completely reshuffled. And now all this anti-Semitist shit that we've been talking about before, that's totally fine. Like I've seen a lot of journalists like posting, the tickets that they've opened up with Twitter, and they're solved literally 30 seconds later with it's like go fuck off and die, dumb Jew, stuff like that. And like reported less than a minute later, like it was 8:50 when it was opened, and at 8:50 they got a notification back. This was found to not have violated the terms of service. There will be no penalty. And yeah, no, it's because Elon says that comedy is legal, I guess, unless you say mean things about Elon.
I've seen that. I saw that Twitter policy update that was very clearly written by Elon Musk about how you can't be a parody account unless you're explicitly listed as a parody account. And then that has been the thing gestured to ban all the people creating accounts that have the name Elon Musk in their header now and are being used to
but all of the right-wingers that are pretending to be the journalists that they don't like saying fucked up shit, none of them are being taken down.
Yeah.
And Elon got in a fight with Hank Green of all people about what, like the woke mob is why advertisers are running away. And I think Hank Green rightfully pointed out, like 4 days ago, you posted some whack job conspiracy theory article that's been debunked over and over from a source that's like obviously fake news. Like maybe they're just a little scared about the direction of this platform. I don't know, man. Who knows? And he's just like, I guess Twitter should die then. And he's like, no, that's not what I said. But look, it seems like that's what you think.
That's where it's going.
It's also kind of fascinating and morbid on some level that Elon's impulse to tweet everything is his undoing as he buys Twitter. He was floating around for a second that to keep your verified status on Twitter, you would have to pay $20 a month.
No, it's not floating around.
Yes.
It's 8 and it's definite.
Because Stephen King, of all people, was like, $20 a month? That's crazy. I'm gone like Enron if I got to pay that. And then Musk was like, well, what about 8? Would you stick around for that? And Stephen King just responded with something like, IDK, maybe.
Stand up, Stephen King. Like, oh yeah, that's actually more reasonable. What the fuck?
You expect Stephen King to be like a paragon of virtue? Like, how old's that man?
Well, he's the only thing he posts about now is like Democrat politics. Yeah. In like a positive sense, like he's
right. No. Like Democrats aren't.
I know. I'm not saying he's a member of the good woke mob. I'm just saying he's definitely not conservative.
This is I don't know. This is weird to say, but I don't know. Me, my position, my place on the internet, the stuff I've been working on. I might genuinely miss Twitter. That has been beneficial. I've had some genuine okay to good interactions with people on there. As I'm saying that out loud, also a lot of harassment, I realize now.
Yeah. Twitter has always been a cesspool. It's one of those things where like even the people that love it, like me, have always agreed that Twitter is a bad place to be. It's probably the only social media app that I've actually really enjoyed being on, and I'm going to miss it because I'm going to leave Twitter as soon as I find something like approaching equal value, like something else I can do. I've seen a lot of stuff about Mastodon. Blue Sky might be a thing, but like the beta hasn't even opened up yet, but I signed up for it. So
Where is
We'll
the
see.
equal value, though? Where can I see everyone collectively lose their shit about the Try Guy's wife guy cheating on his wife? What other website offers that experience?
TikTok, but in video form.
Fuck. Okay.
I just don't go on TikTok.
Yeah, I
really
saw
have to-
Elon saying like we're gonna bring back Vine, and I was like, have you ever heard of the theory where like extinct animals who've been extinct for like 10 years, humans try to like reintroduce them, and the ecosystem is kind of just completely moved on, and all the animals that they release back into the wild get fucking murdered because like they just can't compete anymore? Like, bro, TikTok is coming for those Vine cheeks if you try to bring it back.
Buddy,
like, you're fucked. You are literally fucked.
Buddy, do you think VTuber Findommies are gonna give Vine a second thought? Not a chance, man.
TikTok is perfect because it's Vine and better. Like,
Yes.
it's like sometimes you scroll and you see a Vine, you see a 6-second funny short video.
Yeah.
Sometimes you scroll and you see a well-made video essay that lasts 3 minutes, and it's a chill time. Like, it's just every way better.
It would be like, oh man, the Model T was really important to the automotive industry and its history. We're going to bring it back in 2023. It's like, no, you're not.
That's about the same time scale in terms of the internet. Like, literally, when did Vine go away? It was like 2015. Like,
oh god,
when was the death of Vine?
There was a death knell for a
beginning
while,
of college.
Yeah.
Why Vine died? That was written in 2016. So, basically 2016. It was completely dead.
Fuck.
That's insane. That 6 years is a lifetime. Vine died. Twitter announced it would disable all uploads October of 2016. So like a couple weeks before Trump won the election.
Also, that means that Vine was dead, like completely dead.
Exactly.
Like Vine wasn't a thriving community, and then Twitter said it's gone. Like Vine had been dead for probably at least a full year.
I think
if that's when they did it.
And if memory serves correctly, they never really found a good way to monetize Vine, like TikTok seemingly has. And granted, it's my understanding the company behind TikTok, kind of sketchy business practices on the whole. Maybe don't look into that if you want to continue engaging with TikTok guilt-free, but yeah. Oh, wait, actually, if Twitter goes solvent, how much do you think they'd sell the Vine IP, the Vine company, all that related stuff for?
Do they still like? Does the IP still have worth? I feel like they would have sold it by now.
Has worth to me.
Well, when
you want to buy it
for a grand, yeah, why not?
The company that bought Tumblr for like, however many millions of dollars, didn't they end up selling it for like a couple $100,000?
Something like that. Yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah, like, so ostensibly, the three of us together could possibly get a business loan and like put our funds together and buy the Vine IP.
I think, there's a chance.
Elon, you've talked about this before, Ryan, where you think that you could convince Elon Musk to give you like $10 million. You might be able to convince Elon to just give you Vine. If we sat down with this fucker, we could probably talk him into giving us Vine.
The tweet that he posted got a fuck ton of engagement. Like, I think he's gonna enjoy teasing that for as long as he can. It's like, but don't you guys want Vine back? And no one wants Vine back.
No,
Everyone just wants to watch old Vine compilations.
Exactly.
Like,
Jade said that Vine compilations are now on TikTok.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, because now TikToks can be up to like 10 minutes long. So there's 10-minute Vine compilations. And it's like, oh man, they really are trying to be YouTube.
I've seen TikTok duets with Vine, like old Vines. It's pretty fucking terrifying, actually. Like, I don't like it very much.
Here's my TikTok react to the Vine compilations best of 2008.
Right. Best of painful Vines, gone sexual 2005. 14. Nah, dude. Like when it's like, oh, this is a classic Vine, and then a TikToker fucking stitches themselves in and interrupts the punchline, and it's like, where am I?
No.
Like, and it's like, okay, Grandpa, let's get you off to bed. Like, it really is very. It's like all the memes where like, I don't know, so like a baseball comes at the screen, turns it black, and then you wake up and you're on the cart and you're going into Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like, it's terrifying. It's so disorienting when like such a like seminal memory of your internet experience is interrupted by like some modern TikToker with fucking, I don't know, a nose ring and purple hair, and it's like, what is this world?
No, this isn't 2012. Let me go back. Let me go back.
Yeah.
We got some breakouts to talk about. I'm just going to open with a very nerdy thing that I am super excited about. After a 4-year hiatus, the Hunter x Hunter manga is back. Author Togashi is completely on his bullshit, and I love it, even if I have no idea what's going on.
That's how you know something's good.
You would think after 4 years of no manga coming out, the first chapter would include something like a summary of where all the characters we care about are, what's going on with everyone, who everyone's name is, and what company or organization or mafia they work for. None of it. First chapter after a 4-year break, it's just, yeah, this is a dude whose name I still do not know fighting another dude who I guess is part of a different crime syndicate. It's fantastic. Oh, and he can turn inanimate objects into animals and then control them. So that's fun.
It's a good power.
Yeah.
Does he have to turn them into animals in order to control them?
Yes.
Okay. That's why. Like he turns them into animals so that he can control them, not for any other, like he just wants more animals. And like if you like you just turn a chair into a cow and then sell the beef or the milk, like
potentially, yeah. I don't think that restriction has been placed on his power yet.
That's fair.
And then as this tapestry has been woven of this very complicated series of alliances and who has beef with who, and just this entire world that has been created within the already expansive world of the Hunter x Hunter universe, the sexy clown man finally showed up, whose entire personality is just, I am going to cause problems on purpose. And he's just so fucking excited. It's just every panel where he's present, he just got this little smirk, like he's gonna wreck shit. He's gonna wreck it all, and I can't wait. He's incognito right now, and because he is always dressed as a sexy clown man, he's just walking around in sweats, and no one knows who he is, and it's hilarious. Yeah, I'm enjoying this.
Oh, yeah.
What are you guys checking out?
I am still watching the most recent season of Atlanta, which might just
Ooh.
objectively be the best season of Atlanta.
Oh,
They're
lofty.
fucking going out on a high note. Episodes of note are one where they make fun of Tyler Perry and like his whole production model and like the genius around Tyler Perry, and fucking Donald Glover dresses up in a fat suit and does a straight up like Community style impression where he's just like, I am Mr. Chocolate, and it's just like, whoa. I kind of thought Donald Glover was never gonna do like silly stuff like that again, you know? Like I kind of thought he was past that and a little too pretentious to lower himself to that, which it's a fucking amazing and hilarious, but like every interview seems to indicate that he thinks that shit is like bad now and that he wasn't gonna do it. So he goes from that to then like a very serious episode about like a man and a woman who never could quite make it work, but they have a kid together, and the man is like moving to Los Angeles and has to like put it out there that like, hey, I want you to come with me. I still love you. Like very serious episode to a mockumentary episode about the first black CEO of Disney who greenlit the Goofy movie and how the Goofy movie is the blackest movie ever made. And like just like all three of those episodes in 4 weeks, and it's just like I can't.
Jeez.
This is fucking peak TV, man. I am blown away. Like I even caught myself like knowing fully the history of Disney and the entertainment industry in general, being like, wait, they didn't have a black CEO. And then realizing quickly, like, oh no, this whole episode's about the Goofy movie and why the Goofy movie is so black.
Oh my god.
And it's pretty good. So I don't know, man. Like it honestly, a lot of those episodes could stand on their own as just genuine, like they pack a little more punch when you're more familiar with the characters and everything, but like
Yeah.
it's good shit. It's pretty
Huh.
unbelievable.
Good to know. I totally legally played the original Silent Hill on Halloween. Also kind of unbelievable. Pretty good game.
Stands up.
The first 2 hours at least, yeah.
That's all you played. You're not going to play any more of it.
I'm gonna come back to it. It merits me coming back to it. I don't know how familiar you guys are with the Silent Hill universe, the Silent Hill games. This
Not at all.
opens. Okay. All right. A little bit of an overview of the first game where I'm at with it. This opens with Guy, Harry getting in a car accident. You seeing like a flashback of his life up until this point. You don't interact with it at all. But essentially, he was young. He was in love. Had a daughter. His wife suddenly died. Fell into a depression of it. And then his daughter convinces him to go to the vacation town of Silent Hill to kind of recover and like move on from his wife's passing 7 years ago. And then things immediately go wrong as soon as he gets to Silent Hill. There's a very good opening segment where you are walking as this character, Harry, and it is just filled with the wildest camera work I've seen in video games, maybe ever. Just Dutch angle after Dutch angle, and it is really affecting.
That is video games from that era. Like,
I love it.
if you ever played the original Resident Evil game, it's that same shit. You
Hell
walk
yeah.
into a room and there is a fixed camera in the dumbest place possible, and you have to try to maneuver that around. And then as soon as you walk into a new room, everything switches and you have to reorient yourself. It's fucked.
And what I think I really like about this game so far is that the video game does not feel sympathetic to this guy at all, and is maybe kind of belittling him and making fun of him. Like, yeah, the premise of the game is this dude, this depressed dude, having to find his lost daughter. And it is very clear from the get-go that the theme of the game is, hey, idiot, maybe you've been losing your daughter this entire time because you haven't even begun to process the grief of your wife's passing 7 years ago. Man, get it together a little bit, idiot. And that's very fun. I like games where you are not supposed to sympathize with the protagonist, the player character, at all.
Do they call him a simp?
This game came out in 1999, so if they do call him a simp, I imagine it will be the original definition of simple, but I can only hope. I only hope we get there. Andrew, what are you checking out?
I'm still checking out Andor, which still like keeps surprising me each episode that it's like still good, that it hasn't become corny and dumb yet.
Mm-hmm.
It does not belong. It doesn't even belong on the Disney Plus streaming platform, let alone the Star Wars universe. This show has so much to say about fascism and resistance and politics and the prison industrial complex. It is very deep and very well thought out and very well acted. And Andy Serkis shows up and he delivers what apparently has become one of the more hyped lines in the franchise's history.
What's the line?
The context is Andor has been in prison for like 2 episodes now, in like this work prison where they're just assembling machinery that I'm sure is going to tie into like the Death Star or some shit. That doesn't really matter. Andy Serkis is like the guy that's running that floor of the prison, but is also a prisoner. He's like, look, I'm going to get out of here soon. None of you are going to fuck this up for me. I will run this like as tight as possible. And then they start to realize that shit's going on other floors of the prison, but they can't really figure out what. And Andor keeps asking him, like, how many guards are there on each floor? Like, because they can't really figure out, like, how many guards are there? Like, we're trying to escape. You need to help us. He's like, no, like, I'm just going to, like, ride out my time. I'm going to get out of here the right way. I'm not talking to you. They're also probably listening to us, so shut the hell up. He's like, they're not. They don't care about us. Like, we're just down here working. They don't care. Tell me how many guards there are. It's like, no, shut up. And then they find out that when, like, because of the heist that Andor pulled several months ago in the story, and like that made the Empire crack down on everyone, they're not letting people out of prison. When they get out of prison, they just send them to a different kind of prison. And someone fucked up and sent a prisoner back to the same prison. People on that floor realized, oh my God, we're never getting out of there. And they had to kill everybody. So once they find that out, they're walking down, like they're being held at gunpoint. And he's like, how many guards are there? And then Andy Serkis goes, never more than 12. And meaning that he knew the entire time and he thought about it. But he's like, nah, like I'm just going to get out like on my own. Fuck these guys. And he's like, oh, fuck. I'm part of this now.
The fact that this show and its writers and the people behind it are smart enough to realize that, oh God, it is such an effective tactic utilized by fascists to create class infighting within oppressed groups is, for one thing, phenomenal, and I love that. I have to ask, though, because this is technically a spin-off of Rogue One, is any part of you afraid that, yeah, there's a lot of really great anti-fascist messaging in this, but because this is a Star Wars movie, maybe eventually Darth Vader is going to show up, do some of the coolest shit you've ever seen on a screen, and kind of undercut the entire metaphor of
I am
the
worried
series.
about that. I am worried about that. There's been a lot of people that have been like, so why aren't there more references to all of the other dumb Star Wars stuff? I'm like, if they do that, it's going to ruin everything. Because this kind of seems like it was just a story that a guy wanted to tell and convinced Star Wars to give him a bunch of money to make it.
I hope it continues to be good and Darth Vader does not do cool shit.
Yeah, same.
Speaking of a game that I thought was going to be cool shit and is maybe just a Sonic game, I'm struggling with Bayonetta 3.
Ooh.
On a design level, it's a lot of like, yeah, this is going to be a mostly empty open world with some combat, some interesting segments, and then a lot of collectibles that don't actually do anything or aren't actually valuable. To give you guys an example, it does the Legend of Zelda thing of you can collect pieces of a heart and then use that to increase your overall health. But the way combat is scored, that if you take not even like a percentage of damage over the course of a fight, if you take any damage, your score is going to go down. So I'm not actually incentivized by the way the game is structured to find what should be the most valuable collectibles and raise this resource, because
it just gives you the opportunity to lose more points.
Yeah, the game is actively telling me what you really want to do is just not get hit by enemy attacks. And fuck, I think I have to rethink a lot of my feelings on the Bayonetta franchise now, because I don't remember any kind of like glaring game design flaw in the first game that I really liked. But man, is it so prevalent and frustrating in Bayonetta 3 that I'm having some problems really enjoying this one. Also, it's a multiverses storyline, which I don't know about y'all. I'm kind of fed up with multiple universes as a narrative conceit right now. And also, like, maybe they're teeing up that the new character is Bayonetta's daughter from a different universe. And maybe the resident fuckboy in the Bayonetta series is her dad, and like Bayonetta and him are gonna hook up and make their own universe's version of her, which would be disappointing and complicated as Bayonetta has become an increasingly large kink and queer icon. Yeah, I have mixed feelings and I'm processing all of that. It's a bummer. That Pokemon is out the day before Andrew's wedding, so I know what I'm doing the day before Andrew's wedding.
At the rehearsal dinner.
I hope you're trying on your suit and being at the rehearsal dinner.
Bro, what should I name my Fuecoco?
Those were words.
No, I don't have the rings. What are you talking about?
Do we have Rings of Power? Oh shit, no, that show ended. Are rings in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon at all?
Are there rings?
Well, I guess a major plot point was whether or not the fucked up king was gonna, which of his relatives he was going to marry. Presumably that involved rings. Is that a tradition in this universe?
I don't know. We don't really see.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't think there
That.
are rings.
There might be rings, but like, yeah, I don't know if they all are like the same relevance and everything like that. Also, it wasn't which of his family members he was going to marry. It was, was he going to marry his 12-year-old family member or like his daughter's best friend who was like 16? I don't know. One seems slightly worse. I don't know.
How old was he when that happened? I had a hard time judging because I thought he was really old, and then like 30 years went by.
In the original story, I think he was like 30. In the
Okay,
I think they aged him up to be more like 40 when he
okay.
got married. And then 16 years go by and he's 56, but he looks 140 because he's been eaten away by like a
He has
terrible
goblin disease.
Yeah. So kind of not as much. But yeah.
He got magic tetanus.
Something like it.
How was the finale? And will it hold y'all and maybe me over until the next season hits in 2024 or something?
Yeah, sometime in 2024.
Yeah, we don't know when.
We're getting made up years and I don't care for it.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. They did bring up the big flaw that we had with the previous episode that we talked about.
Oh,
And they were like, why didn't you do that? And she was like, because.
It's not my war.
Yeah, it's like, but then she immediately was like, and I'm declaring for you. And you could have
Seems like
killed
it was
our
your
enemies. What the fuck?
war. Right.
there's an order of operations to this that must be respected.
Right.
Like, I can't kill them. They're not my enemies. Now let me pledge to you so that we can go kill them, who are now my enemies.
You got to break up with your girlfriend before you can cheat on her, and then get back to. I don't know how it works. Doesn't make any sense. Look, it's not perfect. And watching OG Game of Thrones with Angel, it's definitely not on that level. Like without a doubt, it's not on the same level as like OG first couple seasons of Game of Thrones in terms of like the writing. I think the spectacle is bigger. Like I think that they've realized that like you can raise the floor of a show a lot by just increasing the spectacle. That's basically what Rings of Power is just all spectacle, no writing. So I think House of the Dragon's like kind of cranking on the spectacle element so that they can at least be decent no matter what.
I think it's just different. Like it's so focused on such a small, like a smaller cast of characters, and like this is just basically a family squabble, and then like the extended family that is involved in this squabble is the cast of characters for the entire season. Whereas Game of Thrones is more of a wide branching. This takes place over the course of a whole ass continent, and there's like at least 4 separate stories. Some of them are kind of involved with each other, but like they're separate.
I will say Game of Thrones season 1 though is all Starks and Lannisters with a little bit of Daenerys. Like that.
Oh yeah.
Rewatching that, it is just completely focused on the Starks and the Lannisters.
Okay.
And there's like mention of like other shit going down, but yeah, outside of like the Daenerys stuff, which is obviously completely disconnected for a lot longer than it probably should have been.
Like 6 seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, when does she fucking make landfall? I swear to God.
I think she gets to Dragonstone in like the end of season 6.
Jesus.
Because when does Jon Snow go meet Daenerys at Dragonstone? I think that's season 7, right?
That is the final season, I believe.
No,
This is
season
Jon
8
Snow.
is the final season.
Yeah, 8's the final one where they decide to team up. Season 7 is when they like fuck.
Yeah.
He's the king in the north. He goes like, I need your dragon glass. It's here on your island.
He's not.
Whoa, your impression.
I wasn't doing a Jon Snow.
It's here on your island.
Oi, I'm Jon Snow. I'm here for your dragon glass.
Yeah, no, it's
Here,
the
on your
you
island.
stand in front of Daenerys Stormborn, the House Targaryen,
Yeah,
Breaker
blah,
of
blah,
Change,
blah.
Mother Dragon.
This
This
is
is
Jon
Jon
Snow.
Snow. He's King of the North. Yeah, that scene. Everyone
Well,
loves
if
it.
I had known you were such a right fit, bud, I would have come a little more prepared. I was Australian. I don't know where that went
Anywho.
for a second.
Yeah, like the spectacle of House of the Dragon is definitely upped just because they have more dragons. It's a bigger budget. Like there's some stuff going on there.
Does it feel tighter as a result of having maybe a little bit smaller of a scope?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I just think it's really good. It's hard for me to compare it to like this stage of Game of Thrones because it's been a while since I've seen the first season. I rewatched it like 3 or 4 years ago. Like, I don't know. Like, because Game of Thrones was really tight for a while. It was really good. This is also really good. I'm just having a hard time ranking them.
I maintain that it's all about source material. Like when the original show ran out of source material, that's when they started sucking. This show has the source material. It's done. It's finished. It's a closed loop story. So,
but what if they're like, hey, we got one of the biggest shows on the planet right now. We only got enough source material to do another season and a half. What if we pattern that out a little bit? What if we turn this into like a 5-season show? Add a little anime original content there.
They're just gonna do more spin-offs. Like they have endless source material because they don't need to stretch and fill in any particular spin-off. They just do a different spin-off.
Yeah, they just keep adapting George R.R. Martin shit. So like eventually there's just gonna be a show about the fucking New York Jets, but it's Game of Thrones. And then Elden Ring, but like there's nothing really there because George R.R. Martin didn't really write any of it. And yeah.
I think
they'll do Dunk and Egg at some point. That's like everyone's favorite story from Game of Thrones universe is Dunk and Egg. I'm surprised that wasn't the first spin-off, so we'll see about that.
So Dunk and Egg, they're already working on Jon Snow. Do you think they'll ever do like the Robert's Rebellion?
They might do
Wasn't,
old Valyria.
What was the name of the woman in Red again? Did her spinoff get shelved?
Melisandre.
Yeah.
She didn't have a spinoff, did she?
Spin-off? Yeah,
I thought it was talked about.
I don't know.
Huh.
I mean, the Lord of the Rings fandom is dealing with that currently, where they're talking about the Disneyfication of the Lord of the Rings IP and like what the rollout pattern would have been if they would have like Marvelized Lord of the Rings. Like it would have been like Thorin one, and then you get into Gandalf, and then the first Hobbit movie, and then you get into and like you keep doing the character individual movies, and then the big team up movies every five
The
movies
Fellowship
or so.
of the Ring.
Yeah, exactly. Like slowly working your way through the source material. Yeah, like I don't know.
Just when everyone's sick of it, just as everyone's like, you know what? Maybe we're sick of Lord of the Rings as a genre. Maybe it's time to move on and give other art and media and direction a chance. Tom Bombadil Project.
They had it. Yeah, that was one of them. Tom
Oh.
And then I think the final one was like Bombadil Civil War or something like. I don't know how that like. I don't know. Frodo teams up against Aragorn with Legolas, and they have a dispute over Middle Earth.
Yes. And then last but not least, since we're getting a little long in the tooth, 2 new chapters of Chainsaw Man. There's a new horseman, probably death. I'm excited to see where that goes. Also think, hey, maybe this manga has a little bit of a power scaling issue. Maybe the Justice Devil really isn't a threat after Chainsaw Man killed the avatar of conquest and subjugation, and also the Gun Devil. You know? Still fun, though. I had a good time. Andrew, did you read them or have you dropped us?
I read them 2 hours ago.
Yeah!
Oh, man. I'm not liking it. I've said a lot of bad things about Chainsaw Man that I've tried to kind of walk back because I value our friendship, and also I've tried to see like some of the positive stuff that they've been doing. I am really struggling to find anything worthwhile out of this part 2 so far. I think it's been pretty pointless.
I mean, Bucky eating shit was pretty good. We all had a good laugh about that.
I guess.
You know? Okay. All right. I think that is just about going to do it for episode 204 of the Voluntary Viewing Progast. The Progast. New form of media. Progressive podcast, I guess. Fuck me, I'm out of practice. What have you decided on for the title? Some of those gamers are homeowners? Something like that?
That was one of them.
Yeah. Sure. Why not? Like, comment, subscribe, etc. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We're on those. Follow us on Twitter for as long as Twitter is real at V2_podcast. Follow me on Twitter at Lucas DeWriter. Keep up with all of my writing. Shout outs to our Patreon supporters, Tiffany Cole, Central Richard Nixon, and Sucky Badger. I'm going to be doing an anime live stream on Tuesday for my job. I don't know how much overlap there is between this and that, but tune in if you want. Hopefully it won't be a technical shit show and a fun time. I'm optimistic. Clearly. Other than that, have a great week. Goodbye, everyone.